Okay, today we are watching a problem called Gurkha Country, which I have pretty much no idea what that even means. And this is by the International Film Bureau, publication date 1968. All right, Gurkha Country. I don't even have like an image as to what a Gurkha is. Like I don't even know. I'm thinking of like a little pickle. What's that? A gherkin? That's what I'm thinking of. So like if that tells you guys anything, it's just like I have no idea what I'm about to watch. So let's dive in, right? Yeah, there we go. Gurkha Country. I hope I'm saying it right. I think I am. Gurkha? I bet there's a more accurate way to be saying it. But I'm pretty sure the way I'm saying it is just fine too. Dude, the music though, I love the music. Like this is very interesting. This is very different than like, I don't know, a lot of the other sorts of music, even for this part of the world that we've watched. Like this is interesting. I'm curious about these instruments, these string instruments. All right, this says sampling from life in the field with an anthropologist. Oh, this is going to be cool then. This already seems like really interesting. Again, I don't even know where Gurkha Country is. Like I'm still the mystery here is insane for me. Let's just find out, right?
An anthropologist always goes into the field with a question he wants to answer.
An anthropologist always goes into the field with a question he wants to answer. That's interesting. All right, so this is definitely through the lens of anthropology. That's good. That's good to know. What is the question the anthropologist ventured to Gurkha Country to answer? That's what I want to know right now. Is like, what are we trying to answer about like the human condition or the human, like, I guess, yeah, the human condition by going to the Gurkha Country? And where is the Gurkha Country? Like, I'm looking around and I don't know, there really are just like no clues. Like there's mountains, but they're all nondescript. I can't tell yet. I think we're gonna learn like pretty fast, but like I wanted to try to guess it on my own, but I can't. I can't figure it out from just this.
On this trip, I wanted to find out how people change their way of life to adapt to different mountain environments.
All right, so hang on, that's our thesis right there, or that's at least our goal, like, right? Like to figure out how people change their lives to adapt to different mountain environments. That's interesting. That's almost like, that feels more like a biological question to me. But obviously, like, yeah, things evolve on mountains specific. So I guess that's what he's going for, but in a human cultural sense rather than an evolutionary sense, or at least a biologic evolution. Like, I guess their cultures probably evolved to better fit the mountains as well, but that's not what I'm talking about. But that's interesting. All right, I want to listen to that again, actually, just so I have it all in my mind, what exactly the goal is for this viewing experience.
Sir, on this trip, I wanted to find out how people change their way of life to adapt to different mountain environments.
How people change their way of life to adapt to different mountain environments. Okay.
Nepal is a good place to
Nepal, okay. That makes a lot of sense, but like I'm not surprised I couldn't guess it. I mean, these mountains do look pretty tall, but like there were no real clues for me at this point to guess Nepal.
to study a problem of this kind, because in the small...
Wow, look at this map. Oh, wow, look. Okay, so you can see India, you can see Nepal, obviously, but then you can see Kashmir and Jammu is just like its own separate little entity right here above India next to Pakistan. I guess they really just tried their hardest not to pick a side in this conflict. They just said it's neither one. I like that. But this is interesting. Then you have Burma down here, the USSR in the corner. This is funny. And then I guess Tibet has already been taken over by China. That's interesting, though.
space between India and Tibet, there is a tremendous variation in altitude.
I love these maps though. Even just like this label for Nepal, right? This arrow with the box in it. That's just like, I don't know. There's such like graphic design in that still. Like the font that Nepal's in compared to the font that all the other countries are in. It's just, there's so much going on here that I wish I could really spend hours just dissecting. Dang, this is a good shot. See, maybe if I'd gotten this shot, I would have guessed Nepal. Like, this feels like we're in India, but we're next to the mountains. So yeah, this is feeling Nepal to me. Oh, wow, look at this. This is a terraced hill. See, man, I do want to go to Nepal too. As a kid, it was like always my goal to climb Mount Everest. I feel like that's a lot of kids' goals. So like I always expected myself to be going to Nepal at some point in my life. Though that's no longer really a goal of mine after seeing what Mount Everest is like today. But I still want to go to Nepal, and I want to see places like this. I've never even seen a rice terrace or a rice paddy like this. So I want to go to this sort of place and experience this sort of, I don't know, existence.
The people I selected for study belong to the Mugger tribe.
The Mugger tribe. Interesting. I wonder if we're going to get a spelling of that, or if I'm just left to my own devices on how you spell Mugger.
Whose villages were spread from the lower, warmer hills to some of the highest mountain valleys.
That's interesting. So there's a tribe of people that lives in the low valleys and all the way up the mountainside. That is like a perfect recipe for an anthropological study. You know, like that really is. I mean, I guess that's what we're here for, but like a people living at different altitudes who all share the same like socio-cultural background. That's a perfect anthropological study, I guess.
We began work in a low village. Here the key factors were numerous hillside springs and a climate warm enough to grow rice.
All right, so that's interesting. So they, at the bottom of the hill, have hillside springs and a climate warm enough to grow rice. That's interesting. That's already like, they're setting us up to compare to the lifestyle that the people at the top of the mountain live. So this is already very interesting.
In this lush environment, people could live in the same village all year round.
People live in the same village all year round. See, that's interesting because that implies at the top of the hills, people move around villages based on what season it is. Wouldn't you just go down the mountain in the winter and then back up in the summer or something? I don't know. I don't know if you'd really move mountains every year, but I think you would move your position on the mountain at least, maybe. This is cool, though. This is cool getting to see Nepal like this as well, like to see forested hills. I feel like in my mind, Nepal is nothing but like the tallest of the Himalayas. So it's cool to see like these foothills where there's still forest and like monasteries and villages and stuff. This is, again, just enjoyable to get to see the country of Nepal from, what year is it, 1968? Yeah, this is Nepal in 1968. It's always cool to get to see countrysides from back then as well.
And could produce enough to feed themselves and have something left over. A village like this that can grow more than it needs to eat can build a schoolhouse and pay a teacher.
That's cool. This village can grow more than they need to eat. See, I feel like they're saying things that I'm actually appreciating here. I feel like most of the facts shared in these old educational programs are not that interesting, but that is cool that like this village in particular grows enough to build its own school and pay a teacher. Like that, I don't know. That's like, I like knowing how things work like that. Like some villages can't afford a teacher because they don't grow enough. Some can't afford a teacher because they do grow enough. It's interesting, you know. You never really think about that, especially as a kid. You never think, oh, the reason I have a teacher is because our rice paddies were successful last year. You know, it's an interesting relationship between farm productivity and like education achievement. You know. And that's also interesting because it implies that like year after year, like with a better teacher, you might be able to farm even better to afford, you know, more teachers or whatever. It's just like that little advantage, even that, right, can make this village or this tribe outperform surrounding villages or tribes. It's just, I always think about that sort of stuff when learning about these sorts of human environments. I love the clothes everyone's wearing, though. Everyone is wearing like totally authentic clothing for the area and time, though. This is a really amazing look into the entire culture, I guess, of Nepal.
A number of villagers can eat rice every day.
A number of villagers can eat rice every day. See, like that's the context that I also need, right? Like how much rice are they producing? Just enough for some people to eat rice every day. Like that's still not a lot of rice if you couldn't tell, you know? Like that's just so bizarre. It's not bizarre, it's just like that's a different way of life. Definitely as an American, I'm accustomed to, but like, I don't know, I feel like that is how most of the world, at least, you know, back a few decades ago, operated still. So again, it's very valuable to be seeing people living like this, you know, in a program like this. The preservation of like the human condition alone is worth this watch.
And some of them are wealthy.
Oh yeah, this wealthy guy has like a mule or whatever. I can't see its head. Yeah, it looks like a mule or a donkey. This guy is wearing more westernized clothing, though. That's always funny. It's always the guys who are wearing the t-shirts, where it's the girls who are always still in their fancy dresses no matter what. It's always so funny.
In December, we began a search for a higher Mugger village.
A higher Mugger village. See, I have to imagine it's spelled differently. Maybe it is just Mugger. It's just, it's a funny name for a tribe, for just, you know, I don't know. I guess they don't know that it's a funny name for themselves, but it's a funny translation of a name. But this is another amazing shot right here. We have the mist in the mountains of the trees, and then we have the valley down below that's also obscured by fog. Like this really is an amazing shot. Like this, oh man, like I can only imagine. This must have been so good to get. Like you must have gone for a hike or something to get this shot too.
How would its way of life be different?
Okay, so yeah, now they're looking for a higher mugger village to compare the higher altitude muggers to the lower altitude muggers. That's interesting. Yeah, this is like a perfect anthropological study though.
Besides myself,
Oh, this is our guy. Wow. I hope this is our guy. I hope this is our narrator and like the leader behind this mission. I always love knowing the people who are actually behind this or getting to see them. It's so rare that you actually get to see the person behind the program. So I really hope this is the guy that we're listening to and watching.
there was Haim, a Mugger high school teacher.
Haim, a mugger high school teacher. That's funny how it's still referred to as like high school, because in my mind, high school is like lockers and like, classrooms and stuff. Like, I guess they have a classroom, but it's not like the same sort of built environment, but it is the same educational environment, I guess. Again, but look at the clothes that these people are wearing. Like, you really do just get such authentic, like, fashion. I hate calling it fashion because it's not, to them, it's not fashion. It's just, like, the clothes that they need to keep themselves warm. But, that's what fashion grew out of. So it's very interesting seeing the clothes. It's really authentic looking.
Bihari, on leave from his government post to study anthropology.
Oh, Bihari, on leave? Oh, okay, so this guy's squatting is on leave from his government post to study anthropology. That's interesting. That's interesting that this guy is also studying anthropology, like this guy from the village that the anthropologist is studying. That's like, almost Inception level. Like, who's studying who at this point? If this guy is studying anthropology, he could be studying our anthropologist guy, and he wouldn't even know it, Like, it's a reverse anthropology study right here. This is really a study on how white people go to, like, other people's countries and just, like, belittle them by pretending to do anthropological studies on them. I don't know. It's like, that's a very funny thing for this guy to be learning about, while our main guy is also an anthropologist. That's an interesting backstory, though.
Krishna, a Mugger hill boy.
Krishna, a Mugger hill boy. I feel like Krishna is like the most common name in this part of the world. Like, I feel like I've heard this name 1,000 times already. Not in this program, just like in my general life, I guess.
And my wife, Pat.
No way, this is his wife? Dang, I love getting to see not only the photographer, but the photographer's like crew and family and wife. Like, this is hilarious. Like, this is so fun to think that, like, this guy did this for work, but also had to bring his wife along. Like, I don't want to say bring his wife along, but, like, she tagged along for it. She's probably also a cultural anthropologist is the thing. I bet they're working together on this. There's no way this woman is not interested in this man's studies, and yet she's all the way out here, Like, she's probably, like, a fair member of the team as well. Maybe not, though. I don't know.
We knew there were muggers in the...
Oh, wow, look at this map. See, I love these old maps. Holy moly. So you have Kathmandu Valley, Pokhara, Annapurna. Yeah, these are all like, aren't these like the third and fourth tallest mountains in the world or something? I know this one, oh man. I know these are like really tall mountains though. The fact that I recognize these mountains' names tells me these are like really tall mountains, even by like Nepal standards.
High mountains west of Pokhara. But it wasn't enough.
Pokhara. See, that's funny. I've never even heard of the city of Pokhara before. So we're already learning some geography here.
Enough to find any high mugger village. We wanted the kind of...
See, that's so interesting. So the muggers are like distributed, not randomly, but like fragmentarily across Nepal. That's like so fascinating. I feel like I have so many questions. There's so much to investigate in this area too. This is really interesting.
A village that would provide the greatest contrast to the one we had just left.
So they're trying to find specific villages of like this specific like ethno tribe or whatever, so that they can actually compare them between, elevation differences. That's like, but the tribes aren't like next to each other. Like, you have to specifically look for mugger tribes in different places. That is a bizarre anthropological study.
We had heard there were some muggers who were transhuman.
Oh, look at this Siamese cat. That's funny. I guess they're literally not that far from Siam at this point, both in like miles and time, right? It would become Thailand eventually, but during this time it might have still been Siam. So this is a true Siamese cat, I guess.
That lived in one village during the winter and moved to another during the summer.
Okay, so yeah, they live in one village. That's so crazy that there's two villages. There's one tribe with two villages, a summer village and a winter village. That's actually hilarious. You know, like here in America, people have summer homes, winter homes, or whatever, but like the whole tribe moving from the summer to the winter village. That's interesting. I never really thought about that, but it makes so much sense when you learn about it, right? It makes sense that like these people who live in the tallest mountains on earth get too cold during the winter, you know, like, and they just have to go further down the mountain. It's just like, I like that. I like knowing that everywhere we are, we're all still humans, you know, we all still get cold and have the idea of just walking downhill where it's warmer, you know. I like that.
If possible, we wanted to find them. A Swiss surveyor said he had seen people who followed this pattern.
A Swiss surveyor? Like, what is a random Swiss surveyor doing in Nepal? Like, may I ask? You know, like, what's going on? Like, what are the Swiss up to? Like, what's the story behind that? I don't know. Like, that's just so random to say, oh yeah, I'm in Nepal and this Swiss surveyor gave me some advice. Like, where'd he come from? I don't know. I'm so curious now.
10 days' walk to the west, but he didn't know who they were.
That's so funny too that he just ran into a bunch of people, didn't like know who they were, but like told this guy like, hey, you might want to go look for them. Like this is such an adventure at the same time. Like you are really just going into the unknown, or at least the unknown for like these guys, you know.
The Nepalese government official who had been with him said they could have been muggers. We decided
Yeah, they could have been muggers.
and see.
See, that's crazy. Like on the advice of this one guy who doesn't even like know if it's certain or not. They're going like up this valley. This is amazing. This is really cool. This is what I wish I could do as well. Maybe not so much like human anthropology stuff, but like this, but for like nature exploration. So they're just gonna walk them two into this valley to find some muggers. See, that's crazy too, how there's just like a village of muggers who are like not really being contacted by anyone. Like they're not uncontacted, they're just like doing their own thing. Like they've been contacted and they just don't really care that much. Like that's so interesting.
We decided to go and see.
What are these banana trees that they're growing? I feel like this is actually where bananas are like native to, so that might be fine.
Bazaar stops always were interesting because we could see how styles were changing.
Bizarre. Oh man, is this his wife too?
Here also we could talk with men.
Dude, look at this place. This is like a legitimate just like rest stop in the middle of Nepal somewhere. Like these people, these women just sitting on the steps with their heads covered. Like this is an authentic glimpse into the daily lives of Nepali people from 1968. Like that's the value of this program more than anything. It's just getting to see what life was like in this place all the way back then.
Who had made trading trips into the higher mountains and could try to find out whether the semi-nomads we had...
Dang, you know, it is really funny to think that like people did used to travel and buy like jewelry off of like legitimate people like who made jewelry. You know, like I feel like this sort of jewelry is now like touristy beyond belief. You know, like you can't go anywhere and just buy a bracelet like this. Like this is, I don't know, like it's cool that people used to go back and buy jewelry from like people at a bazaar or like at a market stand and just have it be like authentic. Whereas I feel like even if you went to Nepal and bought a bracelet like this, it would say made in China on it. You know, like you can't buy stuff that's authentic like this anymore.
had heard about were muggers.
That is a cool bracelet though.
In Baglung, we stopped
Baglung. All right. Does anyone know the city? Are there any viewers from Baglung right now? I'd love to know that.
to buy rice. The boys who were with us were used to eating it and would have found the steady mountain diet of cornmeal mush difficult.
The steady mountain diet of cornmeal mush. See, that's so interesting how like these guys are just eating nothing but rice, and then the white people on the expedition are eating a pretty similarly like horrible meal of just cornmeal mush. It's funny that there is a difference though. Like the people from here would rather eat rice than cornmeal mush. It's just like neither of these are very nutritious. Like you can't get like actual food here. I don't know. Maybe not food that keeps well in this sort of environment. Maybe that's why rice is like a go-to because it just stays dry. But like, I don't know. That's crazy how you go on an expedition and all you bring for food is cornmeal. You know, like like is that normal? Is that what people would do, or is that like this guy's choice? Also, are they washing somebody in the street? This street footage is just so fascinating. Again, you just get to see all these people in their daily lives, and this mom is like washing her like child in the street, which is just again interesting. That doesn't happen here in America. You know, like that might happen in Nepal still, but like that doesn't happen here.
Out of cornmeal mush difficult. While here, we stayed at a British missionary clinic.
A British missionary clinic. I wonder if these missionaries ever ended up like converting people, you know? Like did these actually like follow through in any meaningful way? Like are there a substantial number of like Nepali Christians now? Like I'm very curious actually about that. Either way, I wouldn't even care if I was the missionary. If I just got to like live in this beautiful place in this beautiful like valley, like I wouldn't even care. Like I would just love to live here. I have to imagine that's like what most missionaries' actual goal was. Not to like convert anyone to anything, but just to live in like a beautiful place, you know?
The last outpost of Western medicine in this part of the country.
See, this is interesting. So these are women taking care of these kids. This is just like, I feel like that's what a monasteries or what was it? What is it? It's not a monastery. It's a missionary. I feel like that's what missionaries really are. It's just like, I don't know, women trying to take care of other women. Or I feel like that's what they become after a while. Like a place where just women go to take care of children. It's funny that like, I don't know, missionaries just become that. But I feel like when you have medicine, that is sort of your goal after a while.
With the help of the local headman, we found porters for the last leg of the trek who would stay with us when the going was difficult.
See, even this, like the idea of like hiring a bunch of guys to help you carry stuff, like this is definitely an adventure. This is a requirement for an adventure, you know, like you need porters. If you're not bringing so much stuff with you that you need like 6 like native people to help carry your stuff, like, are you really going on an expedition? That's how you know this was a true expedition, is because they needed people like this.
Each man carried about 80 pounds.
80 pounds? That's a lot, though. That's like, these guys are probably only about 80 pounds.
The headman told the porters he would be dishonored if they ran away.
See, isn't that funny, too, that they, like, would just run away, or they might? Like, why would they? Like, wouldn't they only get paid if they, like, get to the end? I don't know. It just, it seems so bizarre that your porters would just, like, run into the woods, you know, away from you. But maybe there's a different relationship between the headmaster and these porters. Like maybe they're more like servants of his or something, you know? Like I don't quite know why you would need to tell them that, but like clearly he thought it was necessary, so maybe it was.
Once you leave the major riverbed trails, you have to work much harder to get where you are going.
Dude, look at how steep it is too. Like, oh man, just walking up a mountainside, literal mountainside, carrying 80 pounds on your back. That would be just absolutely exhausting. I don't know if I can make it up a mountain with that much weight on me.
The days become a series of climbs and descents.
Nah, that was, I don't want to give a ranking to that dive, but that wasn't the best dive. Dude, but it looks so nice swimming in these waters. I bet, like, yeah, after climbing up, like, the Himalayas with an 80-pound pack, like, to go swimming in the fresh glacial meltwater must be so refreshing. And this must be during the summer, right? Like, this is not the Himalayas during the winter. Like, this is totally summertime in Nepal. Very interesting pan to this rock wall where nothing's happening. Like, I'm curious about the editing choice here. Like, why are we panning over to nothing? Like, are we going to get to something, or are we just going to transition to something else? Oh, wow, we actually are getting something. Wow. Okay, so that makes the shot actually way more impressive, that they went from that shot to these people climbing up here. That's actually really cool. That reminds me of the first shot in Aguirre, The Wrath of God, is this sort of shot right here.
Sometimes there are bridges.
See, this is cool too, like making your own bridges, even though the stream doesn't look that deep, like just making a little walking path across it. Like this is a true adventure. Like this is what I wish I could set out and like do.
And sometimes there aren't.
Like I want to be there with these guys flipping this log into the stream to cross it. Like that's, I don't know, even that just sounds so cool. But yeah, they don't even need the log to cross it. That's funny. You can literally just see them walk across. Dude, this water has to be like ice cold, right? It's like straight off the glaciers that like, I don't know. I can't tell if it's warm or cold because it's definitely summer here, but it must still be pretty cold water. Oh yeah, there's snow right there. That's so funny. So yeah, they're in the mountains. I'm confident in summer though. Like it can't be winter here yet. But that's funny that there's still snow there. So yeah, this water must be like ice cold still. Dang, look at these shoes. See, that's why we watch this sort of stuff, is for this guy's shoes alone. Like, look at those. It's like such traditional, like animal skin fur wrapped shoes. Like, oh man, like I don't even know how you make shoes like this, but like I know shoes like this are like authentic and like, I don't know, deserve appreciation. One of those people that we saw in that village back there made these shoes, and good for them. Like waterproof, watertight, like animal skin moccasins almost, like to climb a mountain. Like these guys are in snow and his feet are like warm, you know? Like good for them for having shoes capable of that. And this guy's just barefoot. See, that's crazy. It's like some people need shoes and some people can just do this walk barefoot. Like how do you do that? You know, like that's just so wild. And these guys are in shorts too. They're not even in like jackets.
When we crossed the final pass, we came down into a high mountain valley.
Like, did these porters really not care, or were they just like not allowed to care? You know, like they just had to suffer through it. Like I would have brought a jacket. I don't know. It just looks chilly up here. Even though I think it's summer, it's still, you know, high elevation.
Full of abandoned huts. The Swiss surveyor had been here during the summer and had seen people living in them.
Hang on. So they said that the Swiss surveyor had been here during the summer. So maybe this isn't summer. Maybe this is still like autumn, fall time. I can't imagine this is winter in Nepal though.
Where were these people now? And who were they?
Where are all these people now? All right, so they found an empty village. So they must not be here. So they must be at the lower village.
Could they be muggers? While Pat and Bihari stayed in one of the huts to guard the gear, Haim, Krishna, and I left to explore the neighboring valley.
So hang on, so they found this abandoned village. 2 people are staying behind to like figure that out. But then the actual anthropologist that we're listening to is going on his own little side adventure again. Like this is crazy. Like dang, look at this, like this is an actual like building too. This isn't like, I don't know what I was picturing, but like this isn't like a hut. This is like an actual construction. Or is it? You know, it's kind of hard to tell.
By the end of January, 39 days...
January? Oh, dang. So this is winter. Dang, I'm going to look so stupid then, but like, am I really that crazy for not believing that this is the Himalayas during the winter? I would have figured it would be like way too cold to be doing any of this. Like maybe they're just in the lower foothills that I'm not really thinking about that, but like, dang. So this is January in the Himalayas? Wow. And those porters were still shoeless. They were still barefoot walking through the snow in the winter. Dang, that's crazy.
After leaving Pokhara, we found our answer. Along the upper Buji River, there were many Mugger villagers, and they moved to the high valley in the summer to graze their livestock.
Huh, so they moved to the higher valley. Hang on, so is it the summer? Am I gonna look doubly stupid for making a wrong guess and then misunderstanding what the narrator was saying? I don't know. I'm not gonna mention the seasons anymore. I lost my seasons privileges.
End of January, 39 days after leaving Pokhara, we found our answer. Along the up
39 days after leaving Pokhara. So this guy has been trudging through like the Nepali high country for 39 days before finding these people. That's wild.
Upper Buji River, there were many Mugger villagers, and they moved to the high valley in the summer to graze their livestock.
Hang on, so they moved to the high valley in the summer to graze their livestock. So I think it is summer. So is this the high valley? Interesting. Dude, see, that's what's so fascinating about like mountains and valleys. Like you can just find a little secluded valley in the mountains somewhere that like only your people know about. This is, oh, I wish I could just live in a mountain valley in the middle of like Nepal like this. Like this is so cool.
The next problem, a major one for anthropologists, was how to find acceptance in the community where we were strangers.
Yeah, I feel like this is like maybe the most important thing to watch is like how this guy earns these people's trust. Like I guess he has a translator and like some native people with him, but like this is every anthropologist's like biggest problem or biggest like thing that they need to accomplish is befriending the people that they want to learn from. So let's see how they do it. How do you befriend people to study for anthropology? Let's see.
I began by finding a headman and asking him to call a meeting of his villagers.
Wow, that's interesting. So you immediately go to the leader and just be like, "Hey, can you get everyone? Like, I need to talk to you." You know, that's interesting. That's crazy how like he did. That's crazy how you went up to him and were like, "Can you get all the people?" And he did. He's the leader and he got all the people to get together. That's just like, that's so interesting. And again, look at all the clothes that everyone's wearing. So authentic. Like these people might still be wearing this clothes to this day. That's how authentic it is.
I wanted to find out what we could do in return for their hospitality.
Oh, that's interesting. So you kind of like make a deal. Like, hey, we're going to stay with you. Like, you're going to treat us nice. Like, what can we do for you? That's interesting. I wonder what sort of deal they're going to cut, you know? Like, do they want medicine? Do they want food? Like, do you have to give them like a tech from your tech tree? Like, what do you do to befriend these people?
These muggers were much more hard-pressed than the ones living at lower altitudes. There were no schools, and we suggested lending Haim as a teacher for a few hours every day in return for their help in our research.
That's interesting. They literally offered this guy as a teacher. That is really funny. I guess that's a good trade. I like already, hang on, I'm already going to dive into social anthropology right here, but like these mountain people who live at the top of the mountains clearly have like much harder lives than the people who live in the fertile valleys at the bottom of the mountains. You can just tell that these people are less open to like outsiders because they don't have as much food and don't have as many resources to like expend on that sort of stuff. So that's interesting already. Like it makes sense that the higher elevations are less like agriculturally productive, but it's interesting to see how that agricultural productivity affects the culture of the people that rely on it.
The men picked up this idea right away and said we could live and work in the village of Masuri.
Wow, that's really interesting that they just like jumped on the opportunity to have a teacher. Like that is good, that's smart, that's a very good move on their behalf. Or at least I think it is, you know, but like that did not sound like an impressive offer, to be honest. Like you guys can have this guy, he'll talk to your kids every day. Like, I don't know. That must have been a hard thing to explain. Or maybe not, but like, I don't know. That's good. That's good that that's all they needed to bargain with.
The next day, school began.
Dang, look at these kids. The day before this class meeting, these kids didn't have a school. Like, these kids' parents went home after that meeting and were like, all right, tomorrow you gotta meet this guy. He's gonna teach you some stuff. You know, like these kids had no preparation for what was about to happen. They just showed up. This is their first day of school ever. And they're all just ready to learn. Like, I love that. And this guy's just ready to teach too. Like it doesn't matter the age group or whatever. He's got something to teach these kids though. Like what is he teaching them? That's what I'm curious about. What's the lesson for the first day of school for these kids? Like what do you teach them? Like what can you even teach them in that little amount of time? Like what, I don't know. I'm so curious. Like is he teaching them to read? I feel like that's the only thing that's like worthwhile to teach these people is like what letters look like and how to read them. Like maybe not, maybe they already know how to read. But like a village in the middle of the mountains that's not even on a map, like I can't assume these kids know how to read, you know? Again, this guy's barefoot. Like it must be warm enough to be barefoot then.
Masuri's only living grandfather made a writing board for his grandson.
A teaching board for his grandson? Is that what I think it is? Like, is that for punishment or is that for learning? A teaching board. You guys in the comments will have to tell me what that's for. Yeah, right? Like the mothers just like let their kids go to the school. Like this mother had to at least be with her kids when they went to school, you know? I get that. I get like, oh, this strange man who came from like pretty much a different place from all these people is just going to teach your children. Like I get why the mothers had to show up as well. It looks like he is writing though. Maybe he is trying to teach them how to read. I can't tell. I can't tell what he's writing though. If anyone can see, I cannot see anything on that board though.
It was hard for Kabi Ram, whose only children of school age had recently died.
Oh, that sucks. So this is like the village leader who's watching everyone's children finally getting to learn. Like, dang, that does suck. If your kid just died before he got to learn with these kids, that like, I wonder why. I wonder why he died. Oh, it must have been like disease or something. Again, very interesting clothing. So like obviously this clothing is more like more simple, I guess. Like the clothes that the adults are wearing is more like opulent and luxurious, where the clothes these kids are wearing kind of do just look like rags. Which I get, right? You don't want to dress your kid in your finest silk. It's interesting again to see what children used to wear in places like this. Maybe still do wear in places like this. I just feel like for American parents, it's helpful to see children wearing stuff other than like t-shirts, you know? Like you can put your kid in something else and it won't like forever change who they are. A kid can wear one of these things and be just fine too. Dang, I like how this guy is just like wearing his blanket. Like I like how that's part of like the clothing. It's just to wear your blanket around with you. Like he's laying on the ground with his blanket. Like that's like he looks like he's at the beach or something.
The headman let us use his goat shed for headquarters.
That's funny. The head man. See, that's so cool that they made friends with like the head man. I feel like they don't want to call him like the chief or like the ruler or anything, but I feel like that's what his position is. If he has like this huge goat shed to be sharing with people, he's probably like the only guy who has goats or that many goats or enough goats to fill a whole goat shed with. But that's cool. That's cool that they're friends with the chief of this village.
We began by taking a census. It's a good way to get acquainted.
That is interesting. You know what? I feel like we're actually going to learn some like really good anthropological like methodology from this, because taking a census, I didn't even think about that, but that is like a very smart thing to do if you're going to study a village of people. I can't even describe why, but just knowing how many people are there and like how many women versus men versus children, like that just already gives you so much insight into their society. Very good idea.
And the questions are ones people don't mind discussing with newcomers. We always carried a stick because every house had a fierce dog to protect its livestock from leopards.
So hang on. So what's the purpose of the stick? So every house has a fierce dog to protect from leopards. So every person needs to carry around a stick. Is it just to like beat the dogs away? You know, like what is that? Is that it? I don't know. Can somebody explain that to me? What type of dogs do they have? Are these like Burmese mountain dogs? Like, oh, I want to see the dogs too. See, even that is like an act of preservation. Like, what sort of dogs do these people have? I bet, I don't know if I bet they're Burmese mountain dogs, but I bet there's something similar at least. I bet they're like big dogs out here with like huge fur.
It was plowing time, and the first plowing was done in circles as a form of magic to symbolize full grain bins.
That's interesting. So the first plowing, they do it in a circle as like part of a ritual. See, that's so funny because like that is like how rituals begin, right? Like every culture has its own little traditions that are like different and unique. And this, you know, Mugger village culture is to plow in circles for your magic ritual or whatever. It's just like that's how cultures and traditions form. It's like that's like an early form of one. That's a very cultural anthropology related example right there. Like that's perfect for what we're looking for here.
The census was hard to get because these villagers had widely scattered fields.
See, that's so interesting too, how there is a village, but it's like a scattered village. Like there's like probably 50 people, but they're all in different parts. That's so, oh, I love the idea of living in a valley with just a village like this. That is so interesting to me. It's so appealing to me too. It's just like, oh, I live on like this shoulder of the valley where it's like only me and like my farm. That's just, oh, this is so sick. It's sad. It's funny how like these people are seen as like not primitive, but like outside of like the modern world pretty much, but like their lifestyles are like making me envious still. Like I do truly envy like the simplicity of life that these people get to live.
Some at the head of the valley and some on top of the mountain. Finding a person at home was often a matter of luck.
See, that's crazy too. Like, I guess, you know, there's nothing to do at home, right? Like me, a dumb American, I'm thinking like at home, like there's TV and everything. Obviously, these people don't have TV or even radio or anything, but like, yeah, like if you don't have any entertainment system in your house, there's no reason to just be home all day, you know? Like, I guess it makes sense that people are just out like doing things, trying to not be bored, you know? Like that's, again, this is all good anthropology stuff right here. I know that's the point of it, but it really is what it's meant to be. I guess, you know, like there's no other way to say it. Like we are really like hitting the nail on the head here.
Picking up other kinds of information also was a matter of luck, and hearing about a baby's first rice-eating ceremony depended on our passing by at the right time.
See, a baby's first rice-eating ceremony. Like what a little nugget of anthropological like information, right? The baby's first rice-eating ceremony. How many people in this part of the world do that? I feel like that must be a big thing, right? Like when you can finally feed a baby rice instead of just milk. That is like a cool thing.
The team was quick to learn what was of interest to me.
So is this their dwellings? This must be like the goat shed that they were given, right?
Bihari had heard about an unusual type of marriage.
An unusual type of marriage. That's interesting. I wonder what unusual types of marriages they had in the villages of Nepal in 1968. You know, like this is so fascinating. I'm so curious. I want to keep watching. Let's go.
The notebook is the most common way of keeping records. But the camera is useful also, and living in the courtyard made it easy to photograph the articles of daily use.
See, look at this. Like, exactly. We are seeing literally, like, the daily life of these people. Like, this woman is covering this urn or vase or whatever you want to call it in mud. She's making some sort of, like, pot out of it. It's just, like, even that, like, that's what people do instead of watching TV is they spend all day making a mud pot, you know? Like, oh, and it's productive. That's productive activity. It's just like if this woman was alive today, she'd be like scrolling Facebook for 8 hours a day. Whereas here, she actually got to be productive and make a pot out of mud. Like, I don't know. There's just something about the village life that's so pure.
Pictures make a vivid record of gestures of respect.
That's interesting that they bothered to take pictures. Like they have a video camera, but they're bothering to show us just still photographs of this experience as well. Are we going to learn about the weird type of marriage, or was that just something that they dangled in front of us?
The motion picture camera is another important tool, though it can present many complications.
Yeah, that's fair. Like the camera is probably the best tool for preserving stuff like this, like how people lived, but it's also very difficult to operate and manage. Like I wonder what examples they're going to give for like why the camera is the difficult tool to use.
Our dark room was a small changing room.
Oh, the dark room even. See, yeah, to develop the film. That's crazy how they're developing the film like in situ. Like they're not saving the film and developing it when they get back to like a big city. Like they're developing it in this like goat shed. That's awesome.
Bag in the loft of the goat shed.
They literally, yeah, in the goat shed.
And once the only oil we had for frozen gears was buffalo butter.
Buffalo butter for frozen gears. See, I don't even know what gears you're talking about. You know, like I'm so unfamiliar with film cameras that like I don't even know what gear oil you need.
In the beginning, one of the easier activities to film and observe was a fishing party for a number of villages in the upper valley.
One of the easier activities to film. You know, I like getting the perspective of the filmmaker. It's so rare in these old programs that the actual cameraman like explains to you why they filmed a certain thing. You know, like this was filmed because it was easy to film and it displayed, you know, people working together for a common goal. So like I understand now why we're filming everything. I am really enjoying having this guy tell us why he's doing everything.
It was one of the rare occasions where these people got together for recreation.
So hang on, so they're fishing and they're building these little dams or dikes on the river to like slow the water to trap the fish. This is like really cool. This is like pretty much human agricultural infrastructure right here, but it's not like really impeding on the natural world really. You know, like you're still allowing fish and like nutrients to move through the system, but you're still taking fish out of it as well. It's so cool to actually get to see the methods used by these village people in their home really. And I guess more so than that, like this is what the anthropologist was looking for, right? Like the people down at the bottom of the hill aren't building dams on the river to fish, right? Because they had goats and they had plenty of food anyway. But these people, because they didn't have enough food, because they're higher up in the mountains, they need to build all these things to fish. That's the exact answer that guy was looking for. It's one of the exact answers. There's probably plenty more, but this is one example of exactly what he was looking for.
To get fish, a stream is diverted, leaving them stranded in shallow pools.
Oh wow, they're diverting the stream. I thought they were just like damming it, but they're actually making it go somewhere else. That's even more impressive because that requires like a deeper level of planning and thought even. And that requires somewhere to divert it to as well. Like where are you making the water go that's not going to flood somewhere else, you know? Dang, and they're just using like bamboo stalks to like dislodge the rocks. Wow, like again, like yeah, it makes sense, right? Like that's the hardest thing that they can probably get their hands on is bamboo. So like that's the people using like the tools at their disposal, you know? Like that's what I like to see about that. Hang on, I thought this woman was like 80 years old. Is this actually a small child rocking this baby? Does this little girl not look like she's a grandma at the same time? Like just because she's rocking a baby also, like I just thought she was an old woman. But that girl's like 5 or 6 years old.
As soon as the diversion is complete, everyone jumps into the water and begins to hunt for fish.
That's so funny though. They just hunt for fish with their hands. Like they make this little pool to trap them and then they have to catch them by hand. Very interesting though. Like I feel like we should introduce them to like a net, right? Like if you divert the water and you just put a net in the diversion of the water, you're just going to catch any fish that goes into that net, right? Like I feel like I could make like a very good trade with these people had I brought a net. That's the thing. Like did this guy bring a net? Probably not. Oh man, again though, I wonder how cold this water is. You know, like, is it ice cold? It probably is still, because they're in the mountains. They're high up in the mountains too. Like, it must be a little bit like, I don't know, painful to be waiting in this water for so long. But again, this is so awesome. We're getting to see these people, like, live out their daily life. Oh, that guy actually caught one. That's funny. That's a smaller fish than I was expecting, but it's still a catch, I guess.
An anthropologist has to have a research design or he'll collect all kinds of irrelevant material. But whenever...
That's very good advice too. I feel like if I was here, I would just be paying attention to like everything. You know, like you do have to focus up or else you will get distracted, especially in a place like this.
he can, he has to be ready to investigate the unexpected and unusual.
See, but like, so he got this shot of him running over this mountainside. It's just like, how much of that shot was planned, you know? Like, why did he set up that shot if not to get him running back?
Because it may contribute to what he wants to know.
Right, like he's pretending like he's in a big rush to get somewhere to get a shot or something, but he also set up this camera to get this shot of him running, you know? So it couldn't have been that important, or he did this later and just edited it all, which I guess that's probably what he did. It's funny, you know? It's funny that he's still trying to tell a story through the film. It's funny to think who's holding this camera. Probably his wife, right? Like somebody is holding this camera. And I don't know how big his expedition party is, but it didn't seem that big. It seemed like him and like 2 other guys. So it might be his wife just holding the camera right here. Doing her best to hold it still. See, this was funny. I thought the shot was just going to end and it was going to be a boring shot, but it was cool that you got to see them run across this little field as well. I like that. This feels like a shot out of Indiana Jones.
The sound of the drum brought us to a shaman who had been led to this spot by a magic cane.
A shaman or a shaman? I would have said shaman, but that's interesting. I love that we're getting to see a shaman, like a true Nepali shaman. Like, holy crap. Like this is what you need to be filming for sure. Like this is an act of preservation of just filming this.
His two assistants were using their wooden swords to transfer a patient's illness to a chicken under the basket.
To transfer a patient's illness to a chicken. That's interesting. So they're trying to take an illness and transfer it into this chicken. That's really funny. That's not funny. That's kind of sad that somebody's suffering from an illness and they think this will work. But you know what? Maybe it will work. You know, who am I to say that it won't work?
The chicken was to be killed here as a scapegoat and would carry off the evil.
That's literally a scapegoat. Like, I guess it's not literally a scapegoat, but that is actually a scapegoat, I guess. Like, that's, I don't even know. Like, you were actually blaming or putting your, like, disease intentions in this animal. That's funny.
As it happened, this information wasn't too important to my research design, but it was interesting.
Oh, you know what? That is fair. As it happens, this information wasn't too important to his anthropological study, which is fair, right? Like, whatever, like, rituals this shaman does, like, he didn't pay attention to the rituals the shaman at the lower village did, so he has nothing to compare this ritual to, right? Like, this just does not inform how people at different altitudes form different cultures, right? Like, this is just a shaman doing his magical tricks. So, like, dang, that is sad, because this is like a very anthropologically interesting event. Like, even this guy recognizes that what he's seeing is like really cool and interesting. It just does not pertain to his exact like interest.
Design, but it was interesting.
I like that he says that, but it was interesting, so I watched, you know, like that's fair. Like, that's exactly what I would say too. Like, I don't know, like, it doesn't really relate to what I was talking about, but it's cool. It's this shaman. Like, this shaman is awesome. Like, look at him. Look at everything he's wearing. Like, everything he's wearing has meaning to him, you know? Like, it's just so fascinating. And like, it would take hours to dissect like every little article and every little totem on this shaman. Like, it really is sick. Like, if you take a closer look, he has totems like all over his body. Like, this is an authentic shaman right here. Honestly, I do believe he's going to transfer the evil spirits to this chicken. Like, if anyone could, it's this guy.
And I never saw this kind of treatment again.
But now I'm curious about the role of shamans in like human society, right? Like, I feel like every form of human society has a shaman to a certain degree, whether it's a priest or like a freaking fortune teller. Like, shamans exist in every form of human society, and it's interesting, you know? It's like, what is that role? What role is the shaman playing? The fact that they exist in every human society means there is a need for like spirituality, but like, why? Like, what's the actual need? I guess maybe that's my anthropological study.
It is always important to have the blessing of any officials in the area. When a representative of the king came to visit the valley, we wanted to go and meet him.
She's cutting his hair? No way.
This event required a variety of preparations.
A representative of the king. So what king though? Is this a mugger king, or is this like, I'm so confused about the political like situation here now. Like, a representative of the king is coming to this village. See, that's what I find so amazing too, is that like people manage to keep track of all the villages, and like the king has like people to go to all the villages. That's just, it's so amazing.
This event required a variety of preparations. In order to get into a new pair of shoes we gave him, Krishna had to take off some of his feet.
That's literally crazy. He's scraping off his calluses to fit into some shoes. That's like, oh my God, that's nuts. He's just scraping it off with like a knife too. Oh my gosh, he's just literally cutting off part of his foot. That's so nuts. Oh my gosh. And it looks like he's done this before too. You know, like, this guy has such thick calluses. Like, they straight up do have hobbit feet. Like, they are walking barefoot through the mountain valleys on snow. Like, they must have such thick calluses. That's wild that he needed to cut his calluses off to fit into shoes. Like, oh man, that's another little preserved bit of information. Nobody remembers just how calloused the Nepali people's feet were back then, man. That's something you can only remember through a program like this.
The official was being greeted far down the valley at a building that had been built as a...
Oh wow, look, this is an actual village right here. See, I haven't even seen a shot like this where there's like multiple homes in one shot. I feel like I've only seen shots where it's like one hut.
The school, but remained empty because there was no teacher.
I wonder what they're saying, you know? Like, again, if anyone is watching that actually can translate what these kids are saying, please leave a comment, you know? Like, I appreciate them all. Can anyone even tell? Like, I can't even tell if, like, you can make out the words that they're saying, you know? Like, it all just sounds like noise to me. But wow, this is how a Nepali village greets a representative of the king. Like, we are actually getting to see, like, important things happening, you know? Or at least in, like, the politics of this region. Like, I wonder if the representative of the king, like, that sounds like a tax collector, you know? Like, that sounds like he's going to ask them all for, like, money or, like, tribute and then go back to the king with, you know? Like, that's what I'm imagining, at least. Like, what other reason would this guy have for coming all the way out here, you know? Maybe to meet the anthropologist, maybe that's the reason, but, like, other than that, he's totally like a tax collector or a tribute collector. Oh wow, so the representative of the king is wearing like a westernized suit jacket too. That's interesting. The intersection between like western fashion and like traditional like garments. That's just it's so interesting. Especially with like the wreath or the flowers around his neck. Like again, this is one of those images that's just worth 1,000 words, you know? Like you are just seeing so much different things. So many products of the time that it's taking place in right here that you really could spend hours writing about this one scene. Oh, and you have the military guys behind him too. Yeah, there's so much going on here. There's like the Indian or the Nepali military, the king's like servant or whatever, and then like his other guys who are also wearing suit jackets. Very interesting.
During his long walking tour, the official visits many villages, settling litigation and telling the people about new plans the government has for developing the country.
That's interesting. So the government, that's interesting. So the king's servant is just telling people about what the government's up to. That's like, I don't know, that seems like not the full story. But also it's funny that he comes to settle disputes. Like whatever the disputes are, like this is the king's man, he settles them, you know? Like you have to wait until the king's guy shows up and then he decides like whose farm this is or who's in the wrong for this, you know? Like I don't know, that's very interesting how he just doubles as like a judge. Like he's an emissary of the king and also just decides like the law. Wow, look at this. This would be a good time to take a census right now, though, as to when all these people are collected together. So this is probably like the whole village, right? This is like a really cool shot to have gotten, is like the whole village all together. Like I bet these people didn't ever get a photograph of their village like this before, you know? Like this is actually a remarkable preservation of this like village's population during this time. Like I wonder if this village is still here. I doubt there's a viewer who even knows that information. If there is, please tell me. Like if this village still exists, then these are the relatives of the people who still live there to this day. You know, like these people haven't left and like no newcomers have come. So like yeah, like if you went to this village, you would find the relatives, the direct ancestors of these people still there. It's so wild to think about that.
He is introduced by an ex-soldier who learned to read and write in the army.
An ex-soldier who learned to read and write in the army. So that's interesting. I don't really have much to say about that though. So again, this is the king's emissary wearing this Western hat and this Western jacket. It's just like, it's funny how Western clothing was always used as like a flex, like during this period, right? To like show that you were wealthy and more powerful than like the indigenous or native people. The native people themselves would adopt Western clothing in order to assume that power relation, right? Between, you know, colonizer and colonist. Like they are using that to their advantage in this situation to make them seem, you know, more of an authority from the king. They are wearing more westernized clothing. It's very interesting. And of course, the military guys are also wearing more Western military uniforms as well.
As the time progressed, we were happy to add new pupils to our school, including the headman's daughter.
Oh no, the headman's daughter. I already know where this is going. This story has been told many a times. Don't make the same mistake, Haim. I know Haim is gonna make the mistake. Not the chief's daughter. This is cool though that like Haim actually did teach a lot of people how to read. Like that is impressive, you know? And he probably like did improve these people's lives somehow in like a marked way, you know? Like that is cool how this like anthropological study did have like a permanent positive impact on some of the people that they studied. You know, like that is cool to know at least.
School was enlivened by a Buji Valley version of deck tennis.
All right, so they're in the Buchi Valley. If anyone's looking for this village, they just said the valley that they're in. So maybe I could find this village on like Google Earth. That would be nuts, actually. But now they're playing a game that I'm unfamiliar with. Can anyone in the comments tell me the rules of this game? How do you play this game? I feel like this is a game only people from this part of the world even know how to play. But you know what? We might have some viewers who know.
The first team game these children had ever played.
Oh, the first team game these kids had ever played. See, that's interesting. They don't have a ball. They have like a hoop too. Oh, is this a dog? Is this one of their dogs? No way. It does look like a Burmese mountain dog. That's so funny. Is it a dog? I think it's a dog. Of course, they didn't say anything. They just showed it. But, like, I think that was a Burmese mountain dog. Or at least something very similar. Dude, I love getting to see the anthropologist play with the kids, though. That's so cool. I love his high water pants, too. That's exactly how my pants look because I'm so tall. But, like, I love this, like, awkward-ass guy just playing, like, the hoop game with all the local kids, you know?
While we were playing, one member of the community took notes.
Oh, yeah, the dog's running away. This dog looks way bigger than the dog we saw a second ago. But these do look almost like Burmese mountain dogs. Not quite similar. I need a better shot of them to really tell. Hang on, so somebody was watching him taking notes. That's interesting.
Every day after lunch, a strange daily ritual occurred. Krishna, now sophisticated in the ways of anthropological investigation, called attention to deviant behavior.
That's funny. I like how they all noticed that he brushes his teeth. That's like, again, that is like the intersection of two worlds. When two worlds collide, you know? I wonder what toothpaste would like, I don't know, the sensation and taste of toothpaste to like a person who's never tried it. Must be wild. Especially like back then during this time, like before that was even like a readily available thing. I love the way that they brush their teeth though. Like you can tell they don't quite understand. Like they are just whipping with their heads. This I do love. Like this is perfect. Like I don't know, human cultural like mixing. I guess this is like the cultural interchange. Isn't that it? Like even looking at like you can see their eyes like they're in deep thought while brushing their teeth. Like what am I doing here? Like they're I don't know. They're putting so much thought into it. I love it. Like you can tell he's having trouble even like figuring out how to brush his teeth. It's funny, but he's also maintaining a good spirit. But honestly, his teeth look perfectly white. Also, these people don't need to brush their teeth really. They don't have like processed sugar in everything they're eating, so they should be more or less fine.
In this culture, it is customary to honor teachers with a gift.
I like how that's customary in this culture to honor your teachers with gifts. I feel like that is like similar across most human cultures, but like, I don't know, there's a degree to which like you actually do it or not. Like they're giving him a chicken, that's nice. Nobody's ever given my girlfriend a chicken for being a teacher.
Chicken was welcome anytime, but Bihari told the boy the help his family had given us was gift enough.
That is really sweet, though. I wonder if this kid tried to give him the gift or if his parents made him give him the gift. You know, I feel like parents do that. That is really sweet, though. Again, you learn something about the character of the people by how they treat, like, outsiders. And the fact that they are so thankful for this teacher and are giving him gifts really tells you, like, the positive spirit that these people have. Which I know I'm falling into the same trap I usually call other people out for, is saying these people are nice. But it's like, all people are nice, you know? Like, that's really what you learn. It's like, all people are open to all other people, so long as you're nice about it. And that's really what you learn from going out into places like this, is even in the middle of Nepal, where people have never seen a person like you, they're still nice and they'll still give you a gift. If you give them the gift of how to read, you know?
The things that marks an anthropological acceptance by the...
Oh man, we had a little bit of an audio glip right there. We missed a little bit, but again, I don't think it was that much.
Community is being asked to participate in family functions. Haim and I joined the marriage party of a village groom.
The marriage party. Okay, cool. We're getting to see like a marriage also. See, this is like one of the most culturally important things in any culture is how marriages go down, right? Like I feel like I've said that before. Like 90% of culture is just like the funny dances you do and the funny clothes that you wear, but like the marriage ceremony is also like up there for one of the most culturally significant aspects of any culture around the world.
And were able to make a tape recording of the music. The musicians were members of the Taylor caste, and the dancers were male members of the wedding party.
The Taylor caste. Again, can somebody in India or Nepal tell me like what is up with the Taylor caste? Like what, I don't know, what was the purpose of mentioning them as that? You know, like would that have ranked them like really low or like really high? Would I, like if I knew the Taylor caste, would I, oh, the tailors as in like clothes tailors or as like, I don't know. I don't know if that's what they're mentioning or not. I don't know if that's what they mean or not. So can somebody tell me like what the Taylor caste in India, Nepal actually signifies? Like is this like a really respected caste or is this like a less worthy caste? I don't know. It's awesome that we get to hear like the actual music of the wedding as well too. Like that's another part. Again, like I said, like it's all the music that we listen to and the funny clothes that we dance in. Like that, getting to hear the music that they get married in is like definitely diving deep into their culture. Though again, I'm not quite sure if this really fits into our anthropologists' like study per se. You know, I guess you know they might have different weddings in the mountains than they do in the lowlands, but I don't know if he witnessed a wedding in the lowlands. So I don't know if our anthropologist is all that interested in this actually. Like, how is this marriage ceremony influenced by its altitude? I think that's the question our anthropologist is asking himself right now, and I think he's failing to find any answer. I'm failing to find any answer as well. Maybe we'll look for it, though. Is there any influence of the altitude or, like, the location in these mountains on this marriage ceremony? That's the question at hand right now. Dude, I love this guy and his little beanie hat though. Like everyone else is wearing like the traditional hats, but he's got his own little hat. I think that's so funny. Like he must fit in, but also look weird at the same time.
Groom's father was an ex-Gurkha soldier who had lost his leg in Italy fighting for the British.
The groom's father was an ex-Gurkha soldier who lost his leg fighting in Italy for the British. That is insane, like amazing, right? Like, wow, like that is like so cool. I feel like I've never heard of something like that before. Like he was taken as one of those like colonial soldiers to fight in World War II on behalf of the British, and he actually like got injured, but he was fighting Nazis. Like this guy fought Nazis in Italy and got injured by them. Like that's amazing. That's so cool.
His pension made him one of the wealthiest men in the valley.
That's hilarious as well. His pension is what made him like the wealthiest man here. It's because he got injured fighting Nazis in Italy. That's so crazy. And now he's wealthy because of it. That's like, what a life. What a life this man has lived, you know? Like this guy probably has some crazy stories. And he looks wealthy. Again, he's wearing a westernized suit jacket to illustrate that he is wealthier than all these other villagers. Even though the clothes that he's wearing underneath the jacket still are more akin to this traditional garb. That's honestly what you see more often than not, is people wearing like their traditional garb, but then on top of it wearing like the overcoat, the Western overcoat, which is kind of the point of that article of clothing as well. So I guess it's like, it's all fitting, I guess. And this guy's so happy though, you can just tell by like his smile and everything. Like this is a good day. Like his son's getting married today, you know? Like that's that's what you're forgetting too. That's awesome.
When we were reasonably sure we could do some good, we joined community patterns of mutual help by sharing.
So we don't get to see like the groom or the bride. I really wanted to see the bride just because I know that sounds weird, but like they usually like do the bride up in like such decorative fashion that like I think it would be really amazing to have seen the bride. I don't know what the bride looked like, but I wanted to see like how they did her up, I guess. Again, I know that sounds weird, but like for this part of the world, they really do decorate the bride in such a fascinating way. Or maybe not, I don't know, but I wanted to see it at the very least. So hang on, this guy is just now like administering like doctor's work. Like I wonder if these people know his PhD isn't an MD. Yeah, his PhD in sociocultural anthropology is not the same as a medical doctor.
And we had to be ready to accept attempts to reciprocate, though Pat did beg off from the complete treatment, which would have included lashing her sprained knee with nettles.
That's cool that they're trying to treat her sprained knee, but like she denied. That's such interesting, like, again, that's the intersection of the two cultures, right? Like this tribal people trying to heal her leg with her magic or her, her medicinal plants or whatever. That's just, again, it's intersectionary.
One of the best ways to learn about a religious ceremony is by participating in it step by step, as if one were a member of the family.
See, this is so cool. Yeah, this woman is just being accepted as like an old woman of the village. Like she's just beating the grains or whatever in this. Like that is, I love seeing that. That's so fun. I bet this woman had a lot of fun on this trip, to be honest. Like, I don't know, this does seem like a fun trip even for her.
We felt we had been as fully accepted as outsiders could be when we were asked by the muggers to participate with them in their worship of the village goddess.
See, that's cool. See, I'm also so curious about this. So the village goddess, is this like the deity that they all like have as the number one deity in their mind? Like they're praying to like the greatest, god that they have? Because it's hard to like even try to imagine what these people's belief system really is. I know how spiritually complex this part of the world is, where I'm not even going to try to guess these people's beliefs. But that's interesting that they're praying towards this goddess.
Each household brought its share: a chicken, turmeric, cloth, cedar incense, and rice. The rice had to be imported from another valley. The goddess was represented by stones tied with string.
That's very interesting. Again, this is so valuable that we're getting footage of the like physical manifestation of their goddess in like their shrine, right? Like this is pretty much a shrine to their goddess. And this is how they illustrate that, is by wrapping these rocks in like twine. That's so interesting. Again, this is like very, very culturally specific to this like one village, I imagine. And that's how like bigger cultural traditions begin, is with simple rituals like this. That's so fascinating. This is like the beginning of a ritual, not even like the full-fledged form of it, I don't think. And this music, this is great music too. This is like strings or something. I don't know. I'm impressed though. Oh man, that was just them cutting up a chicken's head. Oh man, I don't know if I can show that on YouTube. I'm gonna go through with it. I'm gonna show that, guys. I'm gonna show. You guys better respect me for showing that on YouTube for you guys. All right, that was a literal. I don't even want to describe it because then like the closed captioning will pick up on it. But that was. Oh man, that was a ritual for sure.
Most of the blood from the sacrificed chickens was saved for eating.
Holy moly, I can't believe I just watched that. Oh man, I hate seeing stuff like that, but I guess it's fine, right? This is years ago. These chickens would have been long dead by now anyway. Like, that's crazy though. I can't believe I just watched that.
To honor the goddess, feathers from each chicken were placed beside the stones or tied to
Jesus Christ, I don't know. That really affected me though. Wow.
the tree.
What is amazing is that is like what most like human rituals are to some degree. Like most human rituals, at least at like this stage, like require some sort of animal sacrifice. So it is interesting that we did just get to witness like in the flesh, like a traditional, like authentic animal sacrifice for like the mother goddess of this village. You know, like we just got to see that happen, which is really special. I don't like seeing stuff like that, but like it is valuable that we got to see something like that.
The chicken's toes were left as additional souvenirs.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. They're chopping off its toes now. Holy moly. Oh, man.
The chickens were plucked and singed at the place of sacrifice.
I probably look like such a softie squirming in my seats while these, like, little village children, like, pluck the feathers off these chickens, these beheaded chickens. Like, I guess it's not that bad. It's just a chicken. Like, I would have had to have done this myself back in the day, too. So it's fine. Whatever. It's just a chicken. Like, I'm going to eat chicken later today. Like, it doesn't, like, that's, you know. At least these people have, like, a relationship with the things that they're killing, you know?
Examining the liver was a means of foretelling the future, a custom going back to ancient Babylon.
Dang, so now they're just, like, actually ripping apart this chicken. Like, this is just the chicken's liver. Wow, cool. Would they eat the liver, or would they just use it as, like, a fortune-telling device? Like, I don't know.
As a symbol of participation and hope for good fortune, the headman gave everyone a tikka of chicken blood and rice.
A tikka of chicken blood and rice. That's interesting. So what is a tikka? Is that like a bowl?
Then we all...
Yeah, I don't know what he was. I don't know what that was that he did, but that's interesting. That I always think it's so fascinating when like villages like this take in the anthropologists as like their own, you know, and start treating them like they're part of the culture in the village. That's so cool to earn the village's trust like that.
returned home to cook our chicken.
Look, there's another little dog, but this also isn't a full-grown dog. Is this a Burmese mountain dog or not? Like, I can't tell. They don't look like Burmese mountain dogs. I think like, even if that little dog was a Burmese mountain dog, I think I'd know.
When we had gathered materials for a comparison between this village and the first one, the tent had to come down and we had to leave for home.
Oh, when they had gathered materials. So they're pretty much saying that they're done with this village. Dang, that sucks. Imagine like living with this village for like a year and then just being like, all right, guys, like later, you know, like you made friends in this village. Like that's what's so amazing. It's like, even though you can't talk to them, like you are just friends with these people and they're so curious about them. Like they're watching him like pack up his stuff. It's just like, you have an impact on everyone's life that you meet, you know, like even these people, like everyone impacted everyone else. It's wild to think that like you just leave after that, you know?
To come down and we had to leave for home. We left with the hope that the mugger's contribution to us would also become a contribution to man's knowledge of himself.
That is interesting. Yo, no way. This woman is on the back of this porter to cross the river. That is actually so funny, though. She doesn't even look like that much shorter than this guy. Like, she's just doing it to make it easier for herself. That's funny. Oh, wow, that's the end. Produced by John and Patricia Hitchcock. Wow, yeah, shout out to them. John and Patricia Hitchcock, you are some real ones for this. Like, you guys actually went and lived in Indian village, or in Nepali village. Sorry, I keep saying Indian, but Nepali village for I don't even know how long. Probably like a few months at least, which like, wow. Like that's, yeah, shout out to these guys. These guys actually did some real stuff right here. I wonder what the paper he wrote was. Like, somebody look it up, right? Can somebody read the paper that this guy wrote on this experience? I'm very curious about that. Like, what did he actually figure out? We didn't actually get that, did we? No, we didn't. We didn't actually get his anthropological analysis. We only got video of him making his observations, but we didn't actually get like a finale, like what was the difference between how the lowland muggers and the highland muggers, like what was their cultural difference, even though they were both muggers, you know, like you asked a question at the beginning of this and you didn't answer it, you know, like what was it, you know? I guess somebody look up his paper, somebody share a link to his paper in the comments as well, and I'll try to read it too. But let's keep going. All right, research and production of this film were supported by grants from the National Science Foundation. That's funny. This is not the first time we've heard of grants by the National Science Foundation. I guess the National Science Foundation has supported a lot of like really remarkable research, at least back then. Music and sounds recorded in Nepal. That's cool how every like musical instrument and sound was like authentic to the place and to the people. Like sometimes for programs like this, they just play like, you know, stereotypical like Indian Nepali music, but it's cool that the music that we got was like real authentic here. Dude, I love these shots of everyone like hunkering down too. Like this is getting to see the actual like adventure part of it is really cool. Okay, special thanks to Hamro. I can't even read these words, but I think these are the packers or the porters' names. Oh, we have Krishna, we have Haim. Okay, so Haim, that was the teacher. That's interesting. So they all have 3 names and then like a last name. I'm kind of confused by that. So they all, it looks like they have first name, middle name, last name, and then like, I don't know, like family or tribe or like caste name or something. I feel like that's what it is because they're either Magar, Newers, or Gurungs. And I feel like I recognize those last names. So I feel like these are like caste names or something. I don't know if that's true or not, but like interesting credits at least. Shout out to these guys. Yeah, if anyone knows these people, let them know. Let them know that we're still watching this program all these years later. And to the people of Village, Missouri, Bujikola, Nepal. Okay, so we actually can find this village. That's funny how I said we probably wouldn't, but now we know exactly which village it is. So yeah, please, somebody investigate this village and let me know if it's still here. And let me know what it looks like. Like, I'm curious. Like, does it still look exactly like this? It can't, but it also probably looks pretty similar. Oh, distributed by International Film Bureau Incorporated. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so that was very interesting, actually. I enjoyed that quite a lot. I feel like we actually got to see like a glimpse into the daily lives of these people. I know I've said that already, but like that really is like something special. Like this really was a special experience getting to see these people who had never been like filmed before. It's always so valuable getting to see, I don't know, just snapshots of a different time. That's really what it feels like more than anything, more than a different place. It's just a different time. Like these people just come from such different conditions than I like grew up in that it's so fascinating getting to see like the world that existed for some people, you know? You know, I already said we didn't quite answer the question posited by the anthropologist, but that's not to say we didn't learn anything about these people. Like, we definitely learned a whole lot about them and their cultures and traditions, just not how it really compares necessarily to lowland muggers or anything, but interesting nonetheless. This is like the sort of video that I started this channel for, really. Is just to get like glimpses into a world I've never seen before like this. Like this is exactly what I want to be watching here on this channel. All right, so I'll just say that if you enjoyed watching and would like to help support me and this channel, you can follow the link in the description that'll take you over to the Internet Archive. The Internet Archive is where I get all these old programs from. So if you want to support me, leave them a donation. And with that, I think we're ready to cut to black.